Welcome. With this lecture I start a whole series of lectures about Arabic verb morphology. They are made to help all those of you who want to acquire a deeper knowledge of Arabic verb conjugation. Of course, you need to have a sound knowledge of the Arabic writing system to follow these lectures, and you should also have some basic knowledge of grammar, and in particular you should know the personal pronouns, of course. What you also need is the ability to apply abstract formulae to practice, as you may have learned in mathematics. If you have difficulties with this, these lectures are perhaps not made for you. Well, now let's start right away. The normal basic structure of the Arabic verb consists of three consonants. We call them radicals because they form the root of the Arabic verb. There are also two consonant roots and four consonant roots, but two consonant roots are conformed to the normal structure, and four consonant roots are relatively seldom. They are rare, and therefore we will not deal with them at this moment.
By convention, the three consonants of the model root are fa, ain and lam. The root does not have any vowels. If we add the vowels, we get the verb fa'ala, which is used as a model for conjugation patterns. Think of it as of an abstract model at this stage. For efficient communication, you should know that the root consonants are called R1, R2 and R3. What does it mean if I call fa'ala an abstract model? It means that we will use the structure of fa'ala to build any possible verb form, even if the form in question does not exist or is not in use for this particular verb. The structure of fa'ala is perfect third-person masculine singular, which in modern Arabic corresponds, roughly speaking, to the English he has done or he did. Details of the use of tenses and aspects are not discussed here. This is a different subject. So, perfect third-person masculine singular is the simplest form of the Arabic verb. You may have asked yourself why we do not start with the present or with the infinitive. This is the answer. The simplest form of the Arabic verb, from which all other forms are derived, is perfect third-person masculine singular. And this is the form you will find in dictionaries. The example verbs show that the central vowel of perfect third-person masculine singular is not necessarily a. It can be I or U, but the latter is less frequent. In a next step, we will look at the personal endings of the perfect conjugation pattern. The really good and almost unbelievable news is that there are no other endings than these for all Arabic verbs. Isn't this a more than good reason for you to learn them carefully? You see that the Arabic verbal system, other than the English one, makes a difference between masculine and feminine, not only in the third, but also in the second person. And, in addition to singular and plural, there is a dual form for the third and second person. Furthermore, if you look carefully at this table, you will see that there are noticeable similarities between some pronouns and the related verb endings. For instance, anta, fa'alta, anti, fa'alti, antum, fa'altum, and some others. Learn the endings printed in red. They are valid for all verbs, with no exception at all. Look at the forms printed out in red bold characters. Without the vowel signs, they look all the same. This would be the normal case in all modern texts like newspaper articles, books, magazines, but even in contracts and treaties. Therefore, when reading, you must consider all possible forms. Disambiguation comes only from context. But do not overestimate this problem. Once you have gained some experience through practice, it will almost no longer be worth mentioning for you. Now let us practice some of the forms of the perfect conjugation. Before, in another lecture, we will come to the second basic pattern of Arabic verb conjugation, the pattern of the imperfect. These are the verbs you will need for the following exercise. You will probably know most of them. If this is not the case, try to keep them in mind now. Now translate these forms into English in writing. You have no context. This means that you have to consider all possibilities. You can stop the video in your browser to have enough time. In the next step, you will see the solutions. Everything right? Again, you can stop the video in order to carefully check your answers. And remember that in the form sharibu, the alif is mute. It is not pronounced. Of course, the previous exercise is just a first attempt at mastering Arabic verb conjugation. You need much more exercises to get fit for communication. In a next lecture, I will explain the second basic pattern of conjugation, the pattern of the imperfect.